Welcome in today, you guys. Today is April speed reviews video. There are 65 things that I tested in the month of April. This is the biggest month yet. There are actually more than 65, but some of them are the same product, just in different shades, so I count them as one. I'm gonna try and do this video a little bit faster this time, simply because there are 65 things that we have to get through, and last month, I think the video was about an hour long, so hopefully I can do it in a lot less time. The way that I have been doing these is that I've been applying the makeup to my face as I've been talking, mostly with the products that I like the best, because I do want to go about my day and I don't want to be wearing something that is really just not working for me. So let's get started. So the first product that I picked up was the SOS primer from Tower 28. This is okay. It's supposed to be an intensive rescue serum. I was trying a lot of things that were going to target my redness on my face, like especially my nose, but I don't think that this really did anything. It's a really liquidy, serum-y formula, but I don't know if it's supposed to be like an over time kind of product. It's supposed to do other things other than just kind of target redness. It also like supposed to smooth out your skin. It has like skincare benefits in it. So it's also supposed to like make your skin look more clear, and it's supposed to be suitable for sensitive skin, that sort of thing. But I just don't notice that it does anything. You know, I've tried it a couple of times and I don't know that I even notice a difference. Like, it's nice, it feels good on, it never messes with any of my foundation. It's just not something I notice it doing anything, especially in the moment. I don't notice it like targeting my redness. So for example, it's not necessarily like a color corrector. I think it was kind of a higher price point than I was hoping for and didn't really do what I thought it was gonna do. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you guys, I do talk about whether it's a purchase or pass or makeup graveyard in my videos. I do like to mention whether or not it's something that I'm really gonna reach for moving forward, something that I'm gonna end up decluttering, or something that is just like, okay, not bad enough that I wanna declutter it, but it's probably gonna go into what I refer as makeup graveyard, which is, it gets kind of pushed in the back of my drawer and skipped over for products that I like a little bit more. So that's what I mean by makeup graveyard. I honestly think that this is gonna be makeup graveyard, and I think it was a higher price point and it's not a bad product, and I don't think I want to declutter it. I just don't think I'm going to reach for it for any particular reason, since I don't really see any results. The next one I'm not going to put on. This was a pore minimizer from Makeup Forever. This one is just a mini. I tried a couple of pore minimizers also recently. This one is like slightly tinted. It's a very like moussey kind of like silicone-y formula. I do think that it not only just minimizes my pores, I actually think that it smooths my skin out. So I think it does a really good job. I honestly just find that it's a little bit drying on my skin. I actually have been getting more oily, like combo skin on my nose lately, as opposed to what I was historically battling, which was always dry skin. So now it's just, I'm coming to an age where I'm getting like oils in the T-zone, where I really never did before. I always had a very dry nose. So wanted to try this for that reason. I think it's really nice and smoothing, but I still think, even though I'm getting more oily in the T-zone, this was a little bit drying, and I noticed that my foundation didn't sit really well on top of it. I think I'm gonna continue to try and like give it use with more dewy foundations, but it's makeup graveyard at this point. Next, I want to talk about a product that one of my subscribers recommended to me. And if you did, you know who you are, because I've absolutely fallen in love with this. So speaking of like redness reducers, someone recommended the Rimmel London Instant Conceal and Correct palette. I found this on Amazon. It couldn't have been more than $10. It comes with 3 different shades. So you have one for like under eye correction or, you know, dark circles, one for redness, and one for just multiple like discoloration or even hyperpigmentation. It's really, really small, interesting packaging, like just flat panned, but you guys, it works so well. I'm gonna use all 3 of these shades so you guys can see. This is how I use it. I use this one under my eyes, the normal color correcting one, and I kind of just like pick it up with my little e.l.f. It's really kind of a concealer brush. I've been layering it under all sorts of foundations, and it's been working really, really well. I'm really surprised. Not that I didn't think that Rimmel could do a good job. It's just a pretty inexpensive product that you don't hear a lot of people talking about. I think it's more like a product that people know exist, like non-YouTubers, I would guess. And of course, Rimmel is not often talked about, like in mainstream. I have been trying to find a like color corrector under my eyes. Mind you, this is like the darker eye here. And because I had been trying them in so many videos, someone recommended this particular little palette and they were like, you should really try this. So I instantly fell in love with it after I picked it up. I've been taking like the bigger part of the brush and then putting the green like all over my nose. And it's kind of the one product that I've used that I find is a thin enough formula that actually conceals my redness without messing with my foundation because it's so thin. Huge thank you to You Know Who You Are who recommended this product. I even told you that I picked it up and you're like, okay, I can't wait to see it in a video. But the biggest part is it never messes with my foundation or my concealer that I put on top of it. And it doesn't like leave a green hue like some of the other ones. I take the purple one and I've actually been using it to like conceal my hyperpigmentation because I do have some here and like here. So I've literally just been taking this and like concealing the outer corner of my eye. I even like have little hollows here, so they do get like a little bit of shadow. So I've been using it right here, and the purple is perfect for that. So this one is a huge recommendation. This is a purchase for me, not very expensive, got it on Amazon. So if you like this kind of product, I think you would really, really like this consistency. I so far think this is my favorite like conceal and correct product or products that I've ever tried. So huge thank you again. That one's a huge purchase. The next one that I have is also like a color corrector. This one is from Catrice. This is one of the Ultimate Camouflage Cream. It's a really like interesting product. It's a stiffer formula and it's almost peach, but it's almost like a concealer too. So it's kind of in between. Because it's a stiffer formula, it's not one that I immediately fell in love with, but I think it does a decent job concealing. I have used this as just like an under eye corrector, but also as kind of both because I think it is like a hybrid product that it does correct and conceal if you want it to. This one is definitely makeup graveyard though. This isn't the Becca color corrector. I don't think it's as good as that. I think it does the trick, but it's definitely like a thicker consistency and it's on the drier side. But I think you want to lay a lighter concealer on top of it because I think that laying like a heavier or more full coverage concealer on top of it isn't like a viable option. The next one that I have is an eye primer. So this one is the one from Rare Beauty. I had been eyeing this for a while. I have been also testing out a bunch of eye primers recently and I did a full face of Rare Beauty. So I picked it up, I had to. It was the perfect excuse to get it and I love this thing. And this one is more of like a very lightweight formula and it does offer a little bit of a tint, but not too much. It works really well. Like the shadows sit on top of it very nicely. I'm glad that I got it. This is probably my favorite eyeshadow primer that I currently have right now. And I just like the doe foot applicator too, because a lot of them are like in squeezy tubes. I don't know, I'm coming to find that I don't love doing that for whatever reason. So this one is a huge recommendation. I love it. It's currently my favorite one. Next, we are moving on into foundations. I have 5. I'm only gonna put 2 on one side, one on the other side. I'm gonna talk about the ones that I really just don't wanna put on today first. Someone else recommended this product to me. This was the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This one is the sheer long wear makeup with the SPF 19. It's a very liquidy formula. I didn't like the way that it sat on my face. It's not like it broke apart or anything. It's not like it was not enough coverage or too much coverage or whatnot. It just sat on my face kind of funny. Like it didn't sink into my skin very well. I thought it was nice and like radiant. It was just that thing that I noticed. Plus it wasn't like super long wearing. Not that like a sheer foundation should be, but it just kind of seemed to wear off like pretty quickly, like almost like that. Like 4 hours, it was done, it was gone off my face almost entirely. Didn't mind the coverage level. Like it looks pretty. I think it just didn't sit across my nose nicely. So this one, I'm probably gonna end up decluttering and I'm sorry to say that I am because it was recommended to me, but yeah, it really didn't work. The next one that I'm gonna talk about does work. I really do enjoy this. And I was a little bit surprised that it turned out to be kind of like a different formula than I really thought it was gonna be. And this was the Too Faced Born This Way Healthy Glow Moisturizing Skin Tint. This was one with SPF 30. It's quite like a liquidy formula, but it's like a satin finish foundation. It's surprising that it's so liquidy, but like it really is a satin finish, kind of light to medium coverage foundation. Really interesting. Like I thought this was gonna be a more dewy, more glowy product, and it's really not. It's 24-hour wear, UVA, UVB protection, all-day hydration, non-acnegenic. Yeah, it's got hyaluronic acid in it. Sometimes hyaluronic acid and me, it ends up like being different on my skin, and I think that it sometimes like interacts with the moisturizer that I have on, or if I don't put like SPF on underneath it, sometimes it can be more drying on my skin than hydrating because that's the way hyaluronic acid works. But this one seems to have like a satin finish no matter what I kind of put underneath it. It's beautiful, it's nice, I actually do really like it. This is one that I will continue to reach for. I like it, it's going to stay, it's just not what I thought it was gonna be. The next one that I have is the Ulta Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. I like just recently tried this, but you guys, I can't do it. Not only is it just like a really deep shade for being light, it's like glow. It's like a sheer sheen product. Like it's all glow, that's pretty much all it is. It doesn't really offer any coverage. It's more like a tinted sunscreen. So I don't like it for foundation or as like a skin tint, but you know what? I'm going to keep this because this is a pool day product for me. So if you're looking for a pool day product, it's good. If you're looking for more coverage, it's not. The next one that I want to go over, I freaking love. This one is the Say foundation. This one is just right up my alley. It's a really, really liquidy formula. It's mostly like skincare and then like, I don't know, 5% pigment really. It's not a lot. When I let this sit, it builds up a ton of oils, light to medium coverage. Even though it's a really liquidy formula, you can easily mattify it, but it just sits on my face beautifully. It never sinks into my fine lines. I think it actually gives me all the coverage that I'm really looking for. I think this is a really, really good launch. For Say, this is amazing. It works perfectly for my dry skin. The next one that I want to go over was also a recommendation from someone in my comments. This was the Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream. I also purchased this on Amazon. You guys, I'm not talking about the shades right now, but I will list everything in the description box. Sometimes I do forget to mention the shades as I'm going, so I apologize. But anyway, this is more like a whipped consistency. It was like thicker than I thought it was going to be for a BB cream, but I instantly fell in love with it. It was another one that I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's got a little bit of radiance to it, like the perfect amount of coverage. I kind of feel like these two are very, very similar. This one is just a lot less expensive and you can get it on Amazon. I actually think this one has an SPF in it, whereas the one from Say doesn't. You can definitely smell the SPF in this product, but everything is written like in Korean. They're both beautiful, both good amount of coverage, both radiant, great for my dry skin, don't sink into my fine lines, last a good amount of time, and can be set down and like mattified. So these two, huge recommendations. Totally gonna reach for these again. Okay, we are on to concealers. I have two concealers. One is a bummer, one's just okay. So the first one that I have is the Rare Beauty Concealer. Unfortunately, this did not work for me. I can't even put this one on. I had this concealer before, like a year or 2 years ago, but when I did the full face of Rare Beauty, I picked it up again so that I could test it out like another time, just that my skin has kind of changed and maybe it would look better. It creases under my eyes so badly, and it really does look really dry when I put it on. I hate to say that, there's tons of Rare Beauty products that I love. The experience and the result that I got the first time I tried this, it didn't change. So I can't wear that. It just makes my under eyes look like I'm 15 years older by like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So no thank you. So this one I'm definitely going to declutter. The next one that I have is from Kiko Milano. This is their Radiant Concealer from the Beauty Essentials collection that they recently launched. This one's okay. It's got one of those like interesting applicator, supposed to be cold, but it's like just an okay concealer. This is one of those products that's the same. It's supposed to be a corrector and a concealer in one, and I think it's just an okay product. I don't necessarily find that it does anything particularly special or makes my under eyes look super bomb or really offers any coverage. I'm actually probably gonna declutter this because I'm not attached to it in any way. It wasn't so expensive, I feel like I need to hold on to it. And if I put it into my concealer collection, it's never going to get reached for. So this one's gonna be a declutter. I just didn't think it was that great of a product. I do wanna go into eyebrows next. One product that I do really like from Rare Beauty was her Brow Harmony. This one is in the shade Rich Taupe. Mom, if you're watching, I just said taupe. You guys, so my mom watches my videos. You might find this funny. She's like my biggest supporter, basically. I'm pretty sure she watches every video. So Mom, if you're watching this, I said taupe, okay? Taupe. So one morning, it's like a Saturday, she must be watching my videos, like catching up or something. I don't know. And she goes, you need to Google how to say, and she puts in quotes, T-A-U-P, taupe, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, are you serious? Are you really texting me that right now? She says you're saying it wrong. I called your sister down here and she confirmed you're saying it wrong too. So I've always pronounced it taupe, and apparently it's not taupe, it's taupe. Thank God for moms who are the word police. now I'm all squared away. I will be saying taupe for the rest of my life. Anyway, let's move on. I think this is a good brow product. This is one that has a spoolie on one end so that you can like set your brows, which I do not use, by the way. I'm only like a pencil girl. I think it's a creamy product, but I think it's long lasting. I think it's super easy. I think some people don't necessarily love like overly creamy brow pencils, and I just really don't mind them so long as they're not slipping off of my face. I do say this in a lot of videos where I think that this kind of shade is a little bit too deep for being rich taupe, but I will be reaching for this product again. I do like it. I would like it in a lighter shade, so I'll be reaching for this again. I think it was good. Let's do setting powders next. I have 3 here. One I'm gonna skip is the Rare Beauty one. This is the setting powder in light. It's nice. It's on the pinker side. I just don't find that it overly sets my makeup. That's the only thing. Like, it's beautiful, it's finely milled, it looks good on the skin, it doesn't really set it. Like, I start getting dewy like really quickly after using it. So I'm gonna keep it because it's not bad, but I definitely think it's a makeup graveyard product. I have heard a lot of people say that they do like this. It's just that, yeah, like on top of a foundation that's like this, that's really dewy, it doesn't set, or it doesn't set for very long. The next one that I have, I will use to set half of my face. This is another product from Kiko Milano in the Beauty Essentials collection. This is the 2-in-1 blurring primer. This is almost like a baked formula, and it's really like hard pressed. So I usually like to pick it up with a sponge instead of a brush. I think that it's good. It's more of a blurring powder and a finishing powder than it is like a setting powder, but I think that it is like airbrushing and nice and lasts more than 5 minutes. So that's really about it. I think it's makeup graveyard. I don't see it being like a super standout item, honestly, but it's not bad. One that I have fallen in love with, this one is definitely a purchase, not a makeup graveyard. I'm like really enjoying this powder, is the Real Flawless Luminous Perfecting Pressed Powder from Laura Mercier. I didn't love the heck out of her loose powder. It was okay, like I kept it because it was a staple, but I definitely feel like it was kind of overly drying on my skin, depending upon what foundation I wore. But this, I feel like, locks my makeup down. It really looks airbrushed. I feel like it lasts a really long time. And this one I see as like making a difference, just kind of being a standout product. You guys, if you had dry skin and found the same thing that I did with the loose powder, which was that it was sometimes just a little bit too heavy on your skin, I think you would love this. Let's move on into 2 face palettes that I have. I'm gonna try like neither of them on. So the first one I have is not a new release. I did forget to mention like which ones were new releases and which ones weren't. Hopefully you guys know, because it's like a mixture of new releases and new to me makeup, but whatever. I picked up one of the blush and highlighter trios from Pat McGrath from the Bridgerton collection. This was just at TJ Maxx, so I decided I was gonna get it. It has 2 shades of the blush and 1 of the highlighter. The 2 shades are Cherish Nymphet and Venus Nectar. I wasn't an overly big stan of the blushes when they came out. I only had 1 shade. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great, but I actually prefer this shade in Nymphet a lot better. The other one that I have in the single compact, which I think is Divine Rose. I just think this is a prettier shade. It has like a little bit of sheen to it. It's just overall like a smoother formula in my opinion. I don't love the pinky shade, the overly pinky or more pinky shade. I really do like this though. Like I said, more so than I liked the one that was in the single compact. I think my favorite thing though is like the highlighter. I mean, I hate to say that because everybody loves these Pat McGrath blushes, but I don't care. This is just like a beautiful, soft, peachy, buttery, airbrushing highlighter. I love it. That's my favorite thing about this. So I'm gonna keep it. I just don't think you need to run out and buy this for the blush formula. It just wasn't my favorite. I have other powder blushes in my collection that I like better than Pat McGrath's, so shoot me. It is what it is. But this highlighter is to die for in my opinion. I think Pat McGrath, honestly, has some of my favorite highlighter formulas. She has one that's like a trio, that's like almost in like the baked formula. And I didn't hear a lot of people like give that much hype, but I loved it. And that's just my personal preference, but I think Pat McGrath does a freaking amazing job on highlighters. Just, the blush was just like, meh, okay. The next one that I have is gonna stay in my collection, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't even know what this was called. This was from Calligraphy. This was their face palette that they launched. It's nice. It's weird pan sizes. I like the blush. I like this as a bronzer. I don't like either of the shimmery shades as a highlighter. These are too deep for me. They're good for eyeshadows. It's on the lighter side. It's my least favorite product from Calligraphy, and everything else that I've tried from Calligraphy I love. Not just like, I actually love everything else from Calligraphy that I've tried. This one was just, in my personal opinion, for what I have in my collection, it equates to like easy for travel, but it's not something I'm gonna reach for here at home that often, because I don't think that it's amazing. It's just okay. Seven bronzers. Okay, here we go. So let's do the ones that I'm not gonna put on. I'm not gonna put this one on. This was actually a new launch from Rare Beauty. This was in the shade Bright Side when she launched 3 new shades for like cool undertones, because her other ones were neutral and they had warmth. Same great formula, better cool tone shade. Super, super glad that she launched the cool tone version of this, because I love this formula. I don't find it to be too slippy. I think it's beautiful. So yes, recommendation for me. I'm not gonna declutter the other one because sometimes I like a warm tone, but I prefer this new launch more. The next one that I have is from Freck Beauty. This is not what I expected when this product arrived. It is a lot smaller than you think it is. My video or my thumbnail was like, look, you know, it's about the size of your pinky. The product inside is even less. This component broke when it arrived. It has warmth to it. It's the tiniest thing ever. Like, they literally should charge no more than like $9 for this. And that's even pushing it. There's drugstore things that are better than this product that are even less money. This just is an okay product. Like, the color is okay, the application is just okay, it's just okay, but the packaging and the size, like, that's just a no-no for me. I'm gonna keep it because I'm gonna get my use out of it because I think the shade is like decent, but this, do not get this, you guys. Unless you have a bug up your butt, this is not worth spending your money on, in my opinion. The one that is less expensive that I actually think is really great is the Contour Halo Wand from e.l.f. I have all 3 of the ones that they launched, bronzer, blush, and highlighter. I shouldn't say bronzer, but contour. I think this is a great shade. It's not too gray. It blends in beautifully. I like the shade better than the Charlotte Tilbury because hers is like the darkest thing for fair skinned I've ever seen. And I've always said that it just looks muddy on me. I don't think this looks muddy. I think this is gorgeous. It retails for $9. If you like these contour wands, this one is totally one to check out. I don't think $9 is pushing it for what you're getting for this. The next one that I have, I do really like. It's their new pressed powder formula from ColourPop. This is one of the matte bronzers. This is in Avila Beach. I really do like this particular shade. I think the formula though is just really underwhelming. I don't think that it's like anything super special or overly creamy or anything like that. They're chalky to me. Like, they're just not a smooth airbrushing formula. They do feel like kind of a powdery, chalky formula, but I love the color of this bronzer so much on my fair skin that this one I enjoyed the most. I actually think this is really nice. I like this. I will reach for this, so this one is staying. You know what? Let me just talk about the one that I love the most. This was the one from Kosas that just released. This is the Sun Show bronzer in Waves. I did say this in my video when I tried it on, is that I don't know if this was a relaunch, like a reformulation, or they just changed it in the packaging. Love this, love the shade, love the sheen. So soft, beautiful. Also, by the way, when I start like testing products and then I think about the one that I like want to put back on, but I'm done. Like, I'm done testing it. I've put it away in my bin. And then I go, oh my gosh, where is it? Where did I put it? Yeah, that tells you that I like it. So I kept looking for this one. That's when I know that it's one that I really, really like, because I'm thinking about reaching for it even when it's like not directly in front of me. I think it's just like almost a red undertone. It's perfectly pigmented. It's great, at least this one for fair skin. Got a little bit of sheen. Beautiful, love this product. The next one that I have is from Juvia's Place. This is the Bronze Duo in the shade Light. I like it. I wasn't over the moon about it. I actually thought I was gonna like this more. This shade actually doesn't really show up on me at all. Like, every time I try and use it, it's so light, it is barely there. And it's good to have like a bronzer that has a cool tone and a warm tone in it. I like the versatility of that. It's just, it was so light that it didn't show up, where I would have liked this duo to have one cool tone that did show up. Here's the more warm tone. So it's a nice powder formula, not overly pigmented. I would say that it's buildable. I have to say, as much as I had been wanting this, I don't think you need to run out and get it. At least not in this shade for me and the way that it worked out. If you got one that had like different shades where both of them kind of showed up on you and you got use out of the cool tone version, then I think it would be worth it because the formulation is pretty good. The next one that I have is from Pat McGrath. This is one of her new Skin Fetish Divine Bronzers. I did a dedicated video on this and I got some flack. I've even got some thumbs down on that video. It doesn't change how I feel about it though. Like, you could tell me how stupid I am over and over and I'm still gonna tell you how I feel. It's smooth when you swatch it out. I just feel like it's a little bit harder pressed in the pan. The thing is, it's $38 and it's like okay. It's not overly pigmented, as you can see. That's why I was saying like it's harder pressed. It's a nice shade though. Like, it's very neutral for light skin tones or fair to light skin tones. So don't get me wrong, I think the shade is probably my favorite thing, but it's not a formula that makes me feel like this does something different than my drugstore bronzers. The brand that I mentioned in that dedicated video was Milani. Like, this doesn't perform better than Milani, in my personal opinion. If you guys disagree with that, it's fine. Just keep it to yourself. Don't be rude. I talk back. I talk back a lot. Always have, always will. I hope you guys don't hate me. I'm not out here trying to be mean, but at the same time, if I express a true opinion and you guys disagree, next, move on. That's all you have to do, because I will talk back. It is my channel. Anyway, so I think this was a beautiful shade. I think it was smooth and nice, but I still think that Milani does a formula that's very similar. So for $38, you have to like Pat McGrath, I think. But it's not going anywhere. Like, it's beautiful. Like, the shade of it is beautiful. You guys, I'm just gonna throw something on to like hydrate my lips. This is one product that I did try this month. This is brand new. This is the Extra Lip Tint from Bobbi Brown. I got mine in the shade Bare Melon. It has no real pigment to it. So I think that it was like a bad choice to get this, but look how stiff it is. And it's not very like tinting. I don't know, it's not exactly what I expected it to be. It's like basically a colored chapstick. So for its price point, again, this is an item where I feel like I could have picked something up at the drugstore if it was in different packaging and I literally wouldn't have known the difference. So this is Makeup Graveyard. It's not going anywhere because it was expensive, but you guys especially pass on this shade. We are on into blush. Let's talk about the drugstore ones first. So this is another one of the Halo Glow items. This one's the blush from e.l.f. This is okay. You guys, this one didn't end up being my favorite. Not like the contour, which I thought was spectacular because the shade was awesome. This one is just more sheen. And so this was like trying to mirror Charlotte's shimmer formula, but I didn't love the shimmer formula. And I don't think it's as pigmented as the Charlotte one. Of course, they weren't in the same shades, but the one that I tested in Candlelit is still like a peachy pink. So you can have good pigment. I don't care for this one as much as the contour. I don't even care for this one as much as the one from Charlotte in the shimmer finish. I prefer the high blush more than I like this one. But you guys, on $9, this ain't bad. Like, this is good. The Tarte one that was a dupe, no. Not my favorite, didn't like it. It's staying, but it's Makeup Graveyard. This one is better than the Tarte one. I just don't think it's better than Charlotte. So if you're trying to like save your money and not spend $42 on like this much freaking product, e.l.f. is the best alternative. Here's the other product that was in the pressed powder formula from ColourPop. This is the blush in Shortbread. This one, I think one of them came out. It might have been the bronzer. So one of them was totally loose from the pan. So it's definitely on the cheaper side of the packaging. I think that it's an okay formula. It's just a little bit chalky when I swatch this thing. And then I'm like this, trying to rub it in because it's actually like, I don't know if chalky is the right word, but it is like the texture of it makes it so that it's a little bit patchy when I start putting it on. It's same thing with a brush, with my swatch, it's a little bit patchy. I like the shade, but yeah, it's always like just a little bit chalky and like kind of sits on my skin. So I don't think this is a must get. I think you could skip on this. I think the ColourPop has a ton of excellent things. I think the pressed powder launches that they came out with weren't great. Oh, it was the bronzer that was totally loose in the packaging. It's okay, it's just not great. It's staying, but it's Makeup Graveyard. Let's talk about one that's a collaboration that I really do like. This is the Glam Light and Chucky collaboration. Mine actually came with 2 shades, whereas I saw a lot of these duos, they were the same exact shade, and I think they were this one. Mine are very noticeably different. One is like more of a corally shade, one over here is more pink. I love this shade. This is a super pigmented product It's soft. You have to be careful. It's so pigmented. I think Glamlight did a really good job on that entire collection. It was really good. Everything was really good quality. Even the packaging, very cool, very sturdy. I think they did a tremendous job. I love this formulation in this powder product. I think that if you picked up this collection, or just that if this is like a normal Glamlight formula, that they do a really good job with their powder products. Actually, there's a ton of stuff from that collection in here, and I love them all. So that one is actually a true, you know, purchase. I don't know if the collection is still available or not, but I'm gonna be reaching for it again. I have 2 products here from Haus Labs. These were the new Color Fuse blushes. I picked up 2 shades. One is the more orangey one in Palmetto Peach, and then I have one that I think is the Hibiscus Haze. Yeah, this one got really a lot of hype around it, and it was really popular. And I totally agree with it because I'm not a pinky blush user, but when I got this, I was like, oh, this one's actually my favorite. This is a pinky blush that I get along with. When it gets to my cheeks, for whatever reason, it has like this really deep kind of purpley undertone that almost makes it look mauve, but like pink. I don't know. It's just a really unique shade, and by the time it gets to my cheeks, it's just really flattering. But this is one of the creamiest powder blushes I have in my collection, so this was a huge recommendation and my Sephora favorites. I actually think that these do something different in my collection. So while these are 38 bucks, just like the bronzer, I think they're unique, and I love the shade range in this. So for that reason, I think they're worth it. There's the one in Palmetto Peach. They're just pigmented and airbrushing and easy, and oof, I don't know. I really enjoy these. I think that if you picked one up, you guys would not be disappointed. I'm gonna throw on the one from in Hibiscus Haze, the more pinky one, because it's so beautiful. Just show you guys how like easy it is to put on. Perfectly pigmented, where you could go in with a light hand if you wanted to, or you could build this sucker up and just keep going. But like, it just looks perfectly airbrushed. The next one that I have is another one from the Beauty Essentials collection from Kiko Milano. This was another new release. This is a duo. So it has a shade in mauve and then a highlighter. I love this product. My favorite thing about this duo is the highlighter. There is something so beautiful and like natural, but super punchy and pigmented about this highlighter. It literally feels like kind of putting butter on your skin. You see that? Like, you could easily sheer this out, but you could totally make this light reflecting, just blinding. It's a beautiful like goldy champagne color, and it feels like air when you're touching it. Favorite thing about this compact is this. They did a great job. But I also absolutely love this blush. It looks like my cheek is a little cloud. So huge recommendation. This is a purchase. This is something I want to travel with because I like it so much. The final blush that we have is a stick cream blush. This one is from Laura Geller. This one is an apricot spritz. So it's just a stick, a marbleized stick. I like the shade. I like the formula. It's kind of on the drier side. Like, it's definitely emollient, but it's not too slippy. It's nice though. It's a nice product. I don't think it stands out over some of my other stick formulas in my collection though. And I think this is a little bit of a higher price point. So while I don't regret getting this, oh, it's called Italian Marble Blush Stick, sorry. While I don't regret buying this, I still think it's kind of, it's gonna be makeup graveyard. Okay, let me just move on to setting sprays. I have one setting spray from Rare Beauty. This is the Always an Optimist setting spray. I like the sprayer on this. I don't think that this sets my makeup. It's supposed to be a 4-in-1 mist, so it's supposed to like prep, prime, set, make you dewy. I think it just kind of makes me dewy. I don't think it overly sets my face. And I always go in like woo, 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 because the sprayer is really good. So if you like a dewy finish, it's nice. It also has like a green tea smell, so it's pretty strong. You'd have to like that. This is Makeup Graveyard. I'm not getting rid of it because that doesn't do anything bad. It is like an overly dewy product, and you know, after I put over powder, I don't always feel like I need to set myself with something dewy. I feel like if I felt a little bit extra dry because of the powder that I would put on, this would be a good one to grab for. Let's move on into highlighters next. I have 5 highlighters. I'm gonna put 2 of them on. So let me just go over the ones that I'm not going to first. This one is from Rude Cosmetics. This was in collaboration with Mentos. This is called the Fresh Highlighter. This is so cool. I think this was probably my favorite makeup product from this collection. I think that it's the shade that probably does it, but also the formula is really nice. It's like a yellowy, like goldeny highlighter, and honestly, I love like a goldeny yellow highlighter. You might not like that, but I personally do. Like, I like when it shifts a little bit yellow. It's a very bouncy, very creamy highlighter formula, so it's really beautiful on the cheeks. Favorite makeup product from this collection. I don't think this retails for that much. It's not something that I feel like you need to go to the Rude website and like place an order for, but I'm glad that I have it. It was my favorite product from this collection. Aside from like the brushes and the little poofy things, the poofs, they were really good too, but this was my favorite makeup product. The next one that I have is the same collection or same launches of powder products from ColourPop. This is the pressed powder highlighter, and this one's in the shade Cold One. It is beautiful though. It's kind of on like the blue side though. It's like a more icy highlighter. This is probably my favorite formula. Like, just the way that it feels is smoother and nicer than both the bronzer and the blush. I just don't love the shade. So yeah, none of these like from this pressed powder launch were like hitting it out of the park for me. The next one that I have is another one from the Halo Glow line from e.l.f. This one is more on the natural side. Like, when I put this on and I blend it out, it's much more natural looking than the Charlotte one. It has just like a little bit of sheen, but like by the time you blend it out and put it on your cheeks, see how just like more kind of like natural it is than it is punchy. So if you like a really natural highlighter, this one is so good. I don't know how I feel about how it compares to the Charlotte. I think that it's not as good in my opinion because I like a punchier highlighter, but I know there are a lot of you guys out there that like a more like sheer or more natural looking highlighter. This is a really good one. It's $9. Again, my favorite dupe came from e.l.f. for the highlighter of Charlotte. That makes sense. I hope that made sense. Okay, now on to the two that I'm gonna put on. I think I'm like falling in love even more with Danessa Myricks. It's just called the Vision Flush, and this one was in the shade Tiara. It's a doe foot applicator highlighter. It's beautiful. It's like, it sinks into the skin, but it's still super punchy. It's kind of a stickier formula, but it still dries down. I don't know, I just loved it. I liked the doe foot applicator. I thought it was easy to apply, and it gave me like this effect that I was looking for. And you can even build this product up, and honestly, it wasn't that expensive. For what I think of when I think of Danessa Myricks, this is relatively mid-range price point. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed her blush launch that she just came out with. I think that was in my last speed reviews. I think these are really good if you like liquid highlighters. It's my second favorite liquid highlighter application. My first is next. And this is the Rollaway Glow from Iconic London. And not a lot of people talk about Iconic London. This particular product just looked really interesting when I saw it on Sephora, and I was like, I'm not gonna get it. Like, I don't need more highlighters. Look at this. I've tried other Iconic London products in the past, and they haven't all been my favorite. So I was kind of like, do you spend the money on this thing? And you don't really like liquid highlighters anyway, so are you gonna be wasting your money? This is my favorite liquid highlighter. It's a really emollient formula. Like, it's just so liquidy, but it's so punchy. Like, when you start blending it in, it sinks into the skin beautifully. It's super punchy. It dries down like almost instantly. It like doesn't have a tack like the one from Danessa Myricks. I don't think you can shear it out. I think it has a really, really good punch. But because of its formulation and because it's so thin, I kind of feel like you never really see the edges of it. So it doesn't like just look like a stripe. Yeah, I think that's important. I did mention like liquid highlighters are not my favorite. This is my favorite formula, which is silly, right? It's just like this roll-on thing that's like old school lip gloss, but it was an ingenious way to have this really liquidy formula apply really nicely. It's a really good formula. Both of these are recommendations, but this one's an even bigger recommendation. I think that if you like a liquid highlighter, you guys would love this. So yeah, this is my favorite application, second favorite application. I do not go over eyeshadows in these speed reviews videos, so I'm just gonna throw on the ColourPop bronzer like into my crease really quickly so we can talk about some of the eye products that I tried. They're all just like liquid products because I don't like to talk about my palettes in these videos, but I do go over the couple of eye products that I try. And so the first one I have is one of the Jelly Mud shadows from ColourPop. This one is in Drama Zen. I've been trying to love Jelly Mud shadows because like the idea of them is kind of cool. Really thin, but really pigmented formula, and a little bit goes a long way. I honestly think they just missed the mark. When they get to the eyes and you start blending them in, they just sheer out into like nothing. Like after about 5 minutes, it doesn't give me much. Like it looks beautiful on my swatch, but like I have to build it up super heavy to get it to be like light reflecting, and then it's super thick on my eye. Like not just thick, it's like chunky. So yeah, if you want something super light, it's easy to get that and like everyday wearable, but it fades very quickly. I think the formula is great though. Here's the thing, it's like tacky enough that it goes on very easily, and it actually dries down pretty quickly so that like it's not transferring to my upper lid when I'm putting it on, and that's a big deal. I still think they kind of missed the mark on this. But yeah, even right now, it was so much more light reflecting when it was wet, and then it just starts to fade as it starts to dry. So I think this could have been a great formula. I think they missed their mark. I've been trying to love these, but I don't. I think I'm gonna keep it, but it's Makeup Graveyard. One that I really did like, but I have like a love-hate relationship with, is from NYX. These aren't new. This is their Ultimate Glow Shots. It's a liquid shadow, and it's really beautiful, long-lasting, super pigmented, super light reflecting formula, but it takes a while to dry down, so it transfers on me every freaking time. It transfers to my upper lid, and I can't have that. Like I gotta go and I gotta go, you know? Unless I wanna sit here and look down the entire time, it just doesn't work. I have to say though, it's super long lasting. I did wear it to work the other day, and it literally looked silver all day long. Like it stayed punchy and beautiful and light reflecting all day. It didn't fade. It's gorgeous, but I have to look down because it will transfer. And I didn't even take it as high as the ColourPop, because if I get it into my crease, it's gonna move. Otherwise, I think it's a really good formula. If you don't, there it goes. If you're somebody who doesn't have hooded lids, I think this would be really great, but because I do, I find it to be a trickier formula. Aside from the transfer, because it's more wet of a formula, I think it's really good. I have 3 shades of this. I've only tried this one. The other 2 I haven't. They're like an orange and a red. So I don't know, hopefully those are like the same formula. Like they're as light reflecting as this one, because I think this one is beautiful. But yeah, you really gotta like baby the heck out of this formula if you have hooded lids. The next one that I have is one from Danessa Myricks. These are like the Infinite Chrome Flakes. These are not new releases, but she put this color out for holiday. I think this one is in the shade Disco. I actually put it on my lips. I think it's quite fun. Like it's a multi-use product, and I think it was fun to put on my lips. But I also think it works really well on the eyes. I actually think that I kind of like these better on the lips. Like they're more fun on the lips. These actually dry down like pretty fast. I think if you like to play around with makeup and sparkles, I think that they're beautiful. They come in all different shades. You can build them up or sheer them out. I just think they're fun. That's all. That is all I'm gonna do on the eyes, but I have a lot of eyeliners to talk about. So that's what we'll talk about next. Let's talk about the pencil ones. So I picked up a bunch from Moira Beauty. These just recently launched. These were their statement gel liners. I actually have more shades than this. I think I have like 2 or 3 more shades. But I've been wearing a lot of like inner waterline liner for different colorful looks, whereas I've never really done that before. This is just like literally in the last couple of months. These are awesome. They're pretty inexpensive. Moira Beauty has a lot of good products. These are very creamy, but they are waterproof and they last a really long time. They have a good variety of colors. They go on super easily. These are really good and quite affordable. Another one that is super good, super long lasting formula is the 20-Hour Ultra Precision Gel Eye Pencil from Catrice. This one is in the shade Brown. It's super creamy, but super precise. Let me just let that sit there for a second and I'll show you guys just how long lasting this is. It's such a good formula. Again, Catrice is pretty affordable brand. I think a lot of their products are pretty good. Yeah, see it? Like even when I let it sit for longer, it's even hard to get off. All right, there's one more here that's like the pencil formula. This is the other thing from the Glam Light collection that I was talking about, the Chucky one. It's just a standard, like regular black pencil liner, but it's super creamy and it's waterproof, it's long lasting. So yeah, not something you need to run out and get, but if you're ever like interested in looking at Glam Light products and you think, I wonder what their formula is like for the eye products or blushes, for example, like they are really, really good. Let's move on into the liquids. Here's another one for Chucky collection from Glam Light. This is a super ultra precise pencil, very, very creamy, very matte black, long lasting formula. Love this, not going anywhere. I tried the one for Rare Beauty recently. I also love the heck out of this. This is a bit of a thicker tip, but it's also matte black, super precise, very long lasting. I love this one. And then I also tried one from Urban Decay. This is the 24/7 inks. Very interesting. I like this shape here so you can hold it. And this is another one that's very precise, very matte black. It's this one right here. I think these are all tremendous. None of these sucked. They were all great. I am going for like a simpler, I say simpler when I have like the Danessa Myricks Chrome Flakes on. So I'm gonna skip the eyeliner, but I do wanna talk about one eyelash glue. This is from Juvia's Place. It's just their Nubian lash glue in clear. I've been trying to find good lash glues too, and I hate Duo. If you guys are a fan of Duo, just know that I am not. I think this is really good. I don't think it casts any weird things on any of my false lashes. I think that it's pretty affordable. I picked up this because, you know, finding a good lash glue, like it may seem stupid, but when you actually are trying to put on false lashes and then the glue like doesn't stick, or you have more like skin to your eyes, like it makes a big deal. And especially if you make a mistake, you want to be able to like easily kind of move it and it doesn't dry too fast, but it also doesn't take 30 years to dry. It's hard to find a good lash glue is my point. I think this is a really good one. Let's move on into mascaras. So the first one that I have is from Lin's. It's a product that I bought off of Amazon that was just like fun makeup. This is literally in the shape of a cello. It is the strangest little applicator. It's like so small, you guys. It is a fiber mascara, but it's so pigmented. It's actually a really good mascara. I get really close to my lash line, but it has such good pigmentation that like it really makes my lashes stand out. Even though this is like a weird kind of goofy product, kind of strange that I would buy it. I don't know if there's like people out there buying cello mascaras or not, but I was definitely trying fun makeup. I think this is a good product. So that's it on that eye. Yeah, a lot more length. Definitely like a stickier fiber formula. Don't run out and get this. It's just funny. That's all it is. It's not bad quality, but this is Makeup Graveyard. It's not my favorite mascara. It's nice and gives length, but it's not my favorite. Like it's comical, that's all. One that I really do like is the Hella Thick one from Fenty. This is a volumizing mascara. It's pigmented though. It does provide length, or it's pigmented enough that like your length stands out. I think it's a pretty good launch from Fenty. I think that the formula stays like wet enough that you can build this mascara up. I think it's a decent mascara if you like volume. It did just chunk them up a little bit, so that bothered the poop out of me. But I don't think it's my favorite. I think it'll wind up being Makeup Graveyard because I actually have volumizing mascaras that I like better than that one already. I have two lip liners basically. I mean, we're down to the last two categories. I'm sure I've just talked my butt off and we're here closing in on an hour. But I have the Too Faced Lip Injection Lip Liner. This, you guys, burned the crap out of my lips. I won't be wearing this again. I don't know that I found it to be plumping, honestly, but I definitely felt it burning the crap out of me. I haven't tried any lip injection items from their line before. This was my first one. Burned the crap out of me. I won't be wearing it again. But if you like something that burns the crap out of you, it's good. I just don't know that I saw any results. Another one that I'm not a fan of is the Calligraphy Lip Stain from Stila. This is also a new release. It has a really interesting like applicator. It's like flat like a calligraphy pen, but it just doesn't hold a lot of pigment. And so like you kind of have to like turn it this way to get a lot. It's just not my favorite. There's just not a lot going on. It's basically like putting a marker on that's like half dried out is how it feels to me. I think they were trying to be innovative. I just don't know that they were. The formulation itself though is very staining. So once you get it to the lips, it stays. It's just that it's really muted. It's a very light lip stain. So it's not overly pigmented. So both of these products in my opinion are a pass. This one I'm decluttering decluttering. This one I'll keep around for at least a little while. Okay, here's the lip products. I have one from Rude Cosmetics, this soft matte lip crayon. This was from the Mentos collection. It's good. It's a soft matte lip crayon. I don't think it's better than the ones that I have from like NARS or even the ones that I've had from Bite Beauty, but it's anyway, but it's good, and that's about it. Like, it's not a revolutionary product. You do not need to run out and get this, but I did buy the whole collection like I told you, so this was one of the items in the collection. Let's talk about the ones that I picked up from Catrice. I think 2 of these are not new releases, but this one was a new launch. This was one of their Shine Balm lipsticks. This one was in Divine Femininity. It's actually really nice. Like, I don't know what is shiny or balmy about it. It has a cool bullet. It's basically like a satin formula mauve color. So not revolutionary. It's nice. If this was like their first satin launch, that's great. It's a decent formula, but it's nothing to write home about. These came out a little bit before. These were the Drunk Diamonds Plumping Lip Balms. I don't think they're plumping. I never feel any sort of tingle when I put them on, and I dislike both of these shades. My favorite thing about these is the bullets. They're really cool and nice and sparkly, but both of these colors look terrible on my lips. That's not its fault. But yeah, nothing plumping about them. They do have a nice sheen to them, but they're not plumping, so. I like this shade a little bit better, but it's still not great on me. This one is in 20, which is rated R. It's much better, but there's nothing plumping about these at all. They don't even like, the sparkles don't really translate to your lips. That pinky one, it looks like my lips are totally washed out. This is, I couldn't carat less. Carat as in like diamond. So I honestly think those are a pass. These 2, I think I'll declutter the really pink one because it just doesn't look good. I'll probably hold on to the other one, and then I'm gonna hold on to this one from Catrice. It's not bad. It's just an everyday satin bullet lipstick. So let's go over the lip oils next. I have one from Catrice. This is their Powerful 5 launch. This one was the glossy lip oil. It didn't start out pink, you guys. It got pink as like you started to like mix it up. It was totally clear when I got it. It's an interesting product. Like, it's almost a lip stain. The longer you keep it on your lips, it changes with the pH of your skin or your lips or whatever and starts to turn a brighter pink. It's supposed to be like hybrid gloss, hybrid lip oil, and it's nice. It's a stickier formula. It's a little bit thicker. It's actually a pretty good product. The next one is a full lip oil. It's called the Nourishing Lip Oil. This is the most silky one I've ever tried that I have in my collection, but because it has these like floral, flowery bits in it, it's a very strong floral scent, and it does get into your mouth. But this literally feels like you're putting oil on your lips. I can't describe it any other way. It is so smooth and so thin and so glossy. It literally feels like oil on your lips. This one is interesting. I wish that it wasn't so strong florally because it's just beautiful packaging, and the formula is really good. Here's another one. This one is from Stila. This is one of their Heaven's Glow gel lip oils. It's okay. It's okay. It's like a bigger doe foot applicator. It's thicker, but it has like straight up sparkles in it. Like, it's not just infused with glitters. It's literally infused with sparkles that you can actually see on your lips. It's more like a gloss. Like, it doesn't feel like a lip oil necessarily. So it's nice. It's just, it's okay. The last lip oil that I have is also a big disappointment for me. It was from Merit. This is on the more expensive side. And this is one of their tinted lip oil gelées. It's definitely like a gelée. Like, it feels like a gel texture, but like it's so thin. It's barely an oil. It doesn't last but like 5.5 seconds because it's so thin. It just fades off almost instantly. It's so thin. This doesn't perform like I would expect a lip oil to perform, even though it's a gelée. It's just not, it's not my kind of product. It was too expensive. I think you can skip it. There are 3 more lip tints. These are the new launches from Selena from Rare Beauty. She calls these her tinted lip oils. These are an interesting formula, and I think some people were like, wait, what? They're like a lip stain. Yes, they are. They're a very thin formula. They have good pigmentation, almost like a glossy lip stain. The gloss doesn't last a super long time though, but the stain does. So you get a decent amount of pigmentation that stays behind. It's just that the gloss fades off pretty quickly. So it's an interesting formula, just very, very thin. 3 shades. This one is in Wonder. The one in the middle is in Joy. And then the one over here is in Happy. I like this formula. I just don't think it's your conventional lip oil. And obviously, the longer you let it sit, the bigger the stain is. So it provides a good amount of stain. It's just that the gloss doesn't last. So if you're expecting it to, don't. Let's go over the ones from Makeup by Mario next. I've heard people say like pretty poopy things about these two. And in my last, well, second to last video, I actually talked about these. These were the MoistureGlow Plumping Lip Colors. People were saying 2 criticisms that I heard mostly. One was that it fades off in like 5 seconds. And then the second was it gets really patchy. I never got that. I got really good gloss, super thin formula, very pigmented, stayed glossy for like 3 solid hours and never was patchy. Never. They don't pill up on my lips. They don't do anything weird. Maybe I got good ones and other people just got like some bad launches. I don't know. These are amazing. They're exactly what you would expect out of these products in my experience with them. I think these are a big recommendation. I hope you guys don't get poopy products that I've seen people put on where they get like it pilling up right here. In my other video, I talked about how I put these on at 7 o'clock in the morning and they were still on by 10 when I was like at work and just working. They didn't fade. So these I think were really good. Maybe other people just got bad products. I got a Nourishing Lip Plumper here. This is the Keep It Full from Milani. This was a new release, I think from their Luminoso collection. They had the eyeshadow palette and then they had this lip gloss. I love this. Not only do I love the shade, it's just thick and juicy and not overly sticky. So I like this. I think Milani did a good job if you like a plumping lip gloss. This is good. It's a cooling plumping. The next one that I have is actually pretty cool. This is one of the Beauty Essentials products that I picked up from Kiko Milano. This one is called the 3D Effect Lip Gloss. It actually is quite an interesting product. Like it's supposed to be more like metallic looking. And so that's why it gives like the 3D effect. When it gets to the lips, that shimmer in here, like the shimmery particles, they really show. And it's kind of a thicker formula anyway, but it's like not sticky. It's cool, but it's not the longest lasting. I think it was good from Kiko. I'm definitely keeping this. The next are from the same collection. These were the Satin O lipsticks from e.l.f. I really, really like these. If you are a current subscriber on my channel, and if you've heard me say like long lasting is important to me, it really is. I hate reapplying my makeup. What I find with like lip products is that I prefer satin underneath like a gloss. So I think that these are tremendous for that. I have 2 shades. One is Standing Ovation and another one is a little purpley. It's Effortless. Like I think it's supposed to be mauve, but it has a purple undertone. It's super creamy, super great satin formula, nice pigment, lasts a long time, nice magnetic closure, better than the NARS in my opinion because they're less expensive and you get more product. Huge recommendation. I am all done, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're still hanging on in there with me. This was a long one. I hope I can cut it down so it's not as long as some of my other ones, but if you enjoy that, then great. If you're not a current subscriber, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. If you've tried any of these products, I'd love to hear in the comment section how you felt about them. And I appreciate all of you, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye, guys.